Thanks, everybody. Before I say another word, I want to offer my deepest congratulations to everybody who has appeared before me on this program. I've just sat out there dumbfounded by the kind of a thing we have here. It's just great. It really is, don't you think so? For the past 15 years, in our year-end letters, and for the past 5 years in these breakfasts, I have talked to you like a Dutch uncle. And I'm not going to stop now. You wouldn't expect me to, would you? Well, in preparing these remarks, I went over all 15 of the year-end letters and distilled out of them viewpoints I regard as most significant in the growth of the agency to date and to its future. And this seemed like a good time to review them with you and to put them into the record in their most unadulterated form. When I'm through, I hope you won't feel that I don't wish every one of you a very Merry Christmas, because I most certainly do. Above all, I want every one of you to know that I have the greatest confidence in the people around here and in the way things are going. In fact, I think that under our new leadership, we are producing better advertising than we have in years. They were getting better, getting hotter by the month, and are moving into phase 3 of this business under a full head of steam. This agency means everything in the world to me, especially its philosophy and its character. And so does its future. Not just next year and the year after that, but 10, 20, even 50 years from now, especially if my name is still connected with it. Because of this connection, I got a little wound up recently and decided that the only way I could really bring home to you the things I want to say was by saying them from the heart and under this title: When to Take My Name Off the Door. Somewhere along the line, after I am finally off the premises, you or your successors may want to take my name off the premises too. You may want to call yourselves Twain, Rogers, Sawyer, and Finn Incorporated, or Ajax Advertising, or something. That will certainly be okay with me if it's good for you. But let me tell you when I might demand that you take my name off the door. That will be the day when you spend more time trying to make money and less time making advertising, our kind of advertising. When you forget that the sheer fun of ad making and the lift you get out of it, the creative climate of the place, should be as important as money to the very special breed of writers and artists and business professionals who compose this company of ours and make it tick. When you lose that restless feeling that nothing you do is ever quite good enough. When you lose your itch to do the job well for its own sake, regardless of the client or the money or the effort it takes. When you lose your passion for thoroughness, your hatred of loose ends. When you stop reaching for the manner, the overtone, the marriage of words and pictures that produces the fresh, the memorable, and the believable effect. When you stop rededicating yourselves every day to the idea that better advertising is what the Leo Burnett Company is all about. When you are no longer what Thoreau called a corporation with a conscience, which means to me a corporation of conscientious men and women, when you begin to compromise your integrity, which has always been the heart's blood, the very guts of this agency, when you stoop to convenient expediency and rationalize yourselves into acts of opportunism for the sake of a fast buck, when you show the slightest sign of crudeness, inappropriateness, or smart aleckness, and lose that subtle sense of the fitness of things, when your main interest becomes a matter of size, just to be big, rather than good, hard, wonderful work, when your outlook narrows down to the number of windows from 0 to 5 in the walls of your office, when you lose your humility and become big-shot Weisenheimers, a little too big for your boots, when the apples come down to being just apples for eating or for polishing, no longer part of our tone, our personality, when you disapprove of something and start tearing the hell out of the man who did it, rather than the work itself, when you stop building on strong and vital ideas and start a routine production line, when you start believing that in the interest of efficiency, a creative spirit and the urge to create can be delegated and administered, and forget that they can only be nurtured, stimulated, and inspired, when you start giving lip service to this being a creative agency and stop really being one, finally, when you lose your respect for the lonely man, the man at his typewriter or his drawing board or behind his camera or just scribbling notes with one of our big black pencils or working all night on a media plan, when you forget that the lonely man, and thank God for him, has made the agency we now have possible, when you forget he's a man who, because he's reaching harder, sometimes actually gets hold of, for a moment, one of those hot, unreachable stars. That, boys and girls, is when I shall insist you take my name off the door. And by golly, it will be taken off the door. Even if I have to materialize long enough some night to rub it out myself on every one of your floors. And before I dematerialize again, I will paint out that star-reaching symbol, too, and burn all the stationery. Perhaps tear up a few ads in passing, and throw every goddamn apple down the elevator shaft. You just want to know the place the next morning. You have to find another name. But right now, dear Leo Burnett Company Incorporated, dear Leo Burnett Company of Canada Limited, dear Leo Burnett Company Limited of London, and dear D.P. Brother and Company, an incorporated division of Leo Burnett Company Incorporated, keep right on with what you were doing, but more of it, more of it. I'm very proud of you and wish you a Merry Christmas and a big New Year, personally, unincorporated, and unlimited.